right, folks, welcome back to the program. This is our last big segment, and I have a lot of stuff to get to, but I'm just thrilled that we've got State Representative Jack Ladyman, who just happened to walk by our little alcove here. State Representative Jack Ladyman, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Paul. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. We want to get your good, bad, and ugly, but let's talk specifics first, because I know you wanted to talk about a couple of things specifically. Go ahead, the mic's yours.
Well, I could go on, but there's a couple bills that I'm trying to run. We're getting down to the short roads, as we say in Cottonwood, so it's getting tight on time. I have a couple of bills that I'm going to be running tomorrow. One of them is the fluoride water bill that I've been working on ever since I've been here, and it's helped up in the Senate subcommittee, so I'll be bringing that to the meeting tomorrow for the second time. It's very, very tough to get out of that committee.
Tell us what this is again.
All that it really does is it gives local water boards, cities, counties, the right to determine whether they want to add water to the water system.
So it doesn't take any fluoride out of the water, just gives it back to the local communities to make the decision.
Exactly. And there are some water systems that have talked to me, so they're not opposed to it. They would continue to put fluoride in the water, but they're not opposed to it. And that's all it's about. It passed in the House with 60 votes, but it's held up in the Senate subcommittee.
Now, why the Senate subcommittee? It's got to get out of the subcommittee before it goes to the full committee?
Before it goes to the Senate. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And actually, this bill, or a similar bill, has been run last session, couldn't get out of our side, but I was able to do that and get it past the House. But getting it out of committee, the committee is a split committee. It's really not equal.
Which committee?
This will be public health.
Senate Public Health, yes.
And I had 3 votes. And I didn't vote.
Yeah. Who are your 3? So I can tell people who to call. I don't want to waste my time with the ones that are yes.
Senator Cooper, Senator Stubblefield, and then Scott.
Okay, so you got Scott Flip. All right, so we need Senator Cecile Bledsoe on board. We would also need Senator Missy Urban.
The 2 votes that I had. Cecile went out there.
Okay, Cecile no.
Flowers.
What about David Sanders?
David Sanders and Missy Urban. 2 votes. Sanders, I talked with him. He's not in the middle of Missy Urban is one that I need. I'm not sure. Well, that's what I had.
Yeah, well, you better hope that the Arkansas Hospital Association will show up and testify against it or something like that, because we're not pretty sure what to say. No.
Well, we've got all of the water associations in the state supporting me, and they've showed up at every meeting. That's one thing. The other thing, which really bothered me a little bit, I ran the bill for the first time yesterday in state agencies. And what this bill is a voter rights bill, and what it does is it sets down guidelines to assist people who are mentally or physically handicapped to vote. And there's been situations in the past where either they couldn't vote, or they didn't have someone to assist them, or there's been, I don't want to use the word fraud, but there's been situations where things weren't done exactly right.
The word manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation with those type of people. And as you know, I have that in my family. I think I'm very concerned about that. I'm going to make sure that those people's rights are protected. And I know a lot of people in that situation for the future plans. So anyway, this bill, what it does is it just sets down guidelines on how people can assist anyone who's mentally physically challenged to vote, and not influencing over the influence. I ran that through committee, it failed, so I'm really working to bring that back in the morning at 8:30 in the state agency.
Okay.
I have 9 votes, I need 11. Yeah.
You've got 9 votes and need 11.
Well, that's the game here.
I don't remember all those. I'm very familiar with public health. You can imagine.
Yes.
I'm familiar with Senate public health. And
well, let me just give some insight to folks that aren't here. And that's the one thing that really is difficult. The people back home, they don't. You've been down here, you've seen it, but it's very difficult to communicate all the things that go on down here with the people back home, so that they can really understand what's going on behind the scenes. But it's a numbers game. You have to work for every single vote, and if you're really to it and you want to get your bills passed, then you've got to go after the votes. You've got to work it. If you don't, it's not going to happen.
State Representative, we're talking to State Representative Jack Ladyman. For those of you in our new listening area in the Arkansas River Valley, you should know that Jack Ladyman, a Republican, is my personal state representative. He represents the district that I actually live in. And so I appreciate the work that you're doing. You are a freshman, and so real quick, if you just want to give us your good, I know you may not know on the cuff, but good, bad, and ugly of learning the ropes down here.
Well, if you've ever played on a football team or a baseball team and you're the freshman, if you've ever done that, you're the guy who goes and gets the ball and he kicks it away. And there's sort of that kind of mentality down here in a little bit. But I'm telling you, the freshman class that we have, some of us are somewhat seasoned, seasoned people who've been in the past. And so we've made an impact. We really have. And because we kind of know the ropes a little bit better. I'm not just speaking of myself, but it is a lot to learn the process and to learn how to get things done behind the scenes. But I think, our freshman class is picking that up very fast.
Let me ask you this, and that's the good. That's your good. I was talking with another freshman earlier, State Representative Brent Smith, and he was saying that it's been so good to see a lot of conservatives where, let's say it was an issue, and you had maybe 25 people saying, we really want to limit the size of government on this issue, or whatever the issue is. And then a day goes by, and the vote comes, and that 25 all of a sudden gets up to 15 or 16. Have you been kind of discouraged a little bit by that at all?
I don't think discouraged is the word. I think it proves what I thought all along. I think that's going to happen. I understood that because I see it happen at the local level. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But you learn who sticks to their guns, who sticks to what they believe in. And I'm telling you, our guys from Herrill County are doing that. And I'll tell you, last night we went to a dinner at the governor's mansion, and we were at a table, the white costume, we were at a table with a number of other representatives and wives and husbands, and the question was asked, well, who's the strongest contingent here this year? Of course, we're all four freshmen, but the initial response from most people at the table was Herrill County.
Wow, and those were. I think mostly democratically controlled seats, except for one. And there was a huge swing.
The one thing that I would like to have done more of is had more of an impact. The session's about over. When you're learning, it's very difficult to do the really tough things. But there's tough issues out there that we need to address. And when you're coming in as a freshman, you just don't have time to develop those things. I mean, there's many, many things that I would have liked to have done with energy, with job skill training. And we've done some of that, but I haven't had the input that I would like to have by having the back of the time to research it and develop these skills and come forward.
Right.
So that's my one thing that I wish I could have done more.
Wow. The ugly. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think the worst thing is the thing that Brent Smith mentioned, is that people, when you have meetings, and I know this is what we're talking about, we had multiple meetings, we had a caucus there, we could control the vote, we had enough people to do that, and the night before we had a meeting, and the next morning, they were told that they even went down and spoke against us, and that's the ugly. I mean, but it happens. That's politics. Wow. You got to learn to live with that.
Yeah.
And you got to know who you can trust, who's going to stand with you.
And yeah, that's exactly right. And I know a lot of you guys, and a lot of the freshmen, not just from Northeast Arkansas, but from a lot of different places, they are learning real quick. Let me ask you this: do you think at all that have you learned to maybe not just take somebody's word for it when it comes to what a bill's going to do or not do?
I never did take somebody's word for it.
Great answer.
And we've got some tough people down here. Mary Bentley, I don't know if you've talked with her.
Yeah,
Rebecca Petty, I mean, I can put in a list. There's some really, really tough people in here. And they know, they stand behind what they believe. I've not had that problem.
Yeah. Well, good.
I test people, and once I know, who my friends are.
Yeah. Yeah. State Representative Jack Ladyman, thanks for stopping by. I'll give you the last word. If you got anything else you want to add? I know.
Well, Paul, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate the people sending me down here, and I hope I've done a good job, enough job.
Yeah. Well, I think you certainly have, and we'll be talking to you and everybody else really after the session. We want to keep in touch and just keep the issues out there about what's important to the public. So be safe and good luck to you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Folks, we're going to move on now. We got a few minutes left in this segment. We want to move on to, number one, I want to re-announce that we have sources. We have one source on the record, talked to Senator Scott Flippo. Because I heard a rumor that SB828 was being deferred to the Medicaid task force. I've talked to some House members that don't even think that's a possibility. Like they don't even think you can do that. But anyway, now I also talked. But I talked to Scott Little. He said on the record that might be a possibility. So that's basically a maybe, which tells me that people need to keep calling. And you need to keep putting pressure on the members of this Insurance and Commerce Committee and make sure that they don't do this. Because it's not a good bill for Arkansas. We've gone over what the bill does. I've read the bill. As a matter of fact, here's an excellent piece. Let me see if I can pull up Twitter real quick. Let's see. We had this. Well, it's gone now. Where did it go? Our good friend Nicholas Ortman from the Foundation for Government Accountability, let's see here. Our good friend, he actually had a picture up here. I guess I should have retweeted it because it was really, really good about here it is, myths and facts about 828. A myth that SB 828 requires legislative approval of any waivers or changes that bureaucrats want to make to the state's Medicaid plan. Fact, SB 828 gives broad blanket authority to state bureaucrats to implement any waivers or state plan amendments that they want without legislative approval. Now, how can you have such contradictory claims for myth versus fact? I talked to David Sanders today. Again, I went to the restroom and all of a sudden we ended up talking in a political conversation, and then there were other senators. But anyway, it was just a very interesting situation. And David Sanders said that he fully believes that legislative approval is required, meaning what we would all think of as legislative approval. And I challenged that statement by just telling him, look, if you really meant General Assembly approval, it would say it, because we've already had a bill earlier that had that same amendment, meaning an act of law by the General Assembly. And so the language is just not clear enough. And it just leaves the door wide open. We also have another myth here from the Foundation for Government Accountability. The truth about Arkansas's SB 828. SB 828 complements the work of the Medicaid Task Force. That's a myth. The fact is that SB 828 undermines the work of the Medicaid Task Force and gives broad legislative authority to pro-Obamacare bureaucrats. And then we have another myth. SB 828 builds on the progress the legislature made this session in repealing Obamacare expansion. The fact is that SB 828 undoes the Obamacare private option end date and gives bureaucrats the authority to keep the failed private option forever. Again, myths versus reality here from the Foundation for Government Accountability. A really good piece. I'm going to retweet it actually right now. You can follow me on Twitter at PaulHerrill1776. That's at PaulHerrill1776. We were supposed to talk to State Representative Donnie Copeland at some point this show, but it does look like, I know he had to go to Judiciary Committee, and he made it very clear to me that it was not a short thing. Several, I guess, maybe before, I guess about 30 minutes ago. So I don't want anybody to think that he just didn't show up. He is handling the people's business and pursuing thoughts, ideas, legislation in his constituent's name right now, and so that's what he's in the process of doing. Let's see. I have one more thing to get to, but I'm running out of time here. Let's see if we can go ahead and get to it. Marcus E. Richmond, State Representative Marcus Richmond. He was talking to the Conservative Caucus today, and he had some very interesting things to say about what's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I decided to pick up on his bad and the ugly of the first session. This is what he sounded like today, Representative Marcus Richmond from the Conservative Caucus. Let's see if we can take this. There you go. That's State Representative Marcus Richmond, and he's from District 21. That's from Harvey, Arkansas, is what his address, and this is his first term. And he's not going to go back to his district and tell people he's a lot smarter than he used to be. Folks, we got to go to break. Back in just a moment.
Paul, anytime you're recorded on Twitter, a person that wants to make a tweet, that needs to be like your text up here, your face.
Dude, really? Yes, what do you think? Like, seriously? Like, oh, your program. Got it in the food. You look crazy.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh,
I wish you were on the radio when you did that.
Whoa. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program. I know that was a short break, but we got more to get to here just real quick. So you listened just now to State Representative Marcus Richmond and what he said today. And he said that he still stands by his comments when it comes to SB 96 and what to do with Medicaid. And I want everybody to hear what he said several weeks ago when this bill passed.
I told her about out of time.
State Representative Marcus Richmond several weeks ago about the private option bill. It was true then, it's true now, and he even today reaffirmed that he still believes and feels the same way. But now we got to work with what we got, and we got to actually try to end this thing on December 31st, 2016. Folks, that's all the time we have from the Marble Palace. We'll see you back in studio tomorrow. Until then, be safe.
Janet sends me a text before.